Hello there. How we doing? So this next song is called Stand Up. Not to be, It's time to do what's right. Wake up. Wake up. It's time to shine your light. Wake up. Wake up. 'Cause if it comes to you, you know it's yours to do. The truth will see you through. Wake up. Wake up. It's time to do what's right. Stand up. Stand up. It's time to shine your light. Stand up. Stand up. 'Cause if it comes to you, you know it's yours to do. Wake up. You through. So wake up. Stand up. It's time to do what's right. Raise up. Rise up. It's time to shine your light. Rise up. Rise up. 'Cause if it comes to you, you know it's yours to do. The truth will see you through. So rise up. Oh, rise up. Wake up. Wake up. Stand up. Stand up. Rise up. Rise up.
Good morning, Unity in Moran. My name's Debbie, and I'll be your worship assistant today. And just kind of going to go with the flow because I haven't been up here in a while, and they changed the order of service. We're going to just go with the flow. Is that all right? Yes. All right. So I know there was one thing I definitely wanted to share with you before we say our community vision statement. On the drive here from my home in Novato to Novato, Unity Moran, I was listening to the radio, and this minister was sharing something that he had heard, and I thought, oh my God, that's so appropriate, especially at the end of our 7-week book study. So I'm here to share this statement with you. Okay. He said, knowledge without action is just information. Knowledge with application invites transformation. So just be with that for a while, because that really hit me, and I thought, yeah, that's right. That's right. So if it makes sense to you, just stay with that statement for a while. And would everyone please join me in stating our vision statement? We are a spiritual community committed to authenticity and the expression of love and support for each other, and an awakened and enlightened life. Thank you so much. And Andoni opened us up our service this morning with beautiful music. And just to let you know a little bit about him, he is a singer, a band leader, and an actor for 18 years and performs all over the Bay Area. And I have seen him perform. He plays great Frank Sinatra music, which is what my husband loves. So, but he's a great performer, and we're so lucky to have him. And yeah. And if you have some time after this service, he has a table with his CDs for sale. So please go and introduce yourself and take a look at his CDs. So thank you, Andoni, for being here.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper. into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. As we prepare for our time of prayer, I want to thank you for your prayers and support as I went to Wichita, Kansas to be with my brother as we removed him from life support and let him pass into his greater expression, to be in the presence of God. Thank you for your prayers, your support. I have felt those. And we have a prayer chaplain, Denise, who is going to bring up our prayer box. If you would go ahead and bring that. There are prayer chaplains available at the end of the service. They're wonderful to pray with you and to know the truth with you. You can put your prayer request in the box, which will be in the back. A lot of people were affected by the fires and various things. Let us hold all those affected by the fires. Some of you volunteered with the American Red Cross, evacuation centers, or other groups that assisted evacuees. Thank you for your assistance. That's truly sacred social action. And if you've never done that, you can go to the American Red Cross website and sign up to be a volunteer in the future or whatever group of your choice. And over here, we have an altar which is commemorating the Day of the Dead. In Mexican Latino culture, the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, began October 31st in the evening and goes through November 1st and November 2nd. And all of that coincides with, in the Catholic and Episcopal traditions, November 1st is All Saints' Day. November 2nd is All Souls' Day. And it's a time of remembering all of our loved ones have passed, who've made that journey and have impressed our lives and continue to make their presence felt in our lives. So if you have a picture, a memento of someone who has passed, feel free to put that on our altar as we remember all of them. So as we take a deep breath, we sink into this ever-present moment, this presence of God living in, through, and as us. We feel this presence in this very room. We know, Spirit, that your presence permeates every aspect of this room and every aspect of our being, and with our love streamers, wherever they may be. We know that where we are, you are. There is never any separation. No matter what we are encountering in our lives, Spirit, we know you are there. Just as our master teacher taught us, I am with you always, even unto the end of the world. You are always there as our strength, as our support. This presence living itself as us. We give thanks, Spirit, for this presence that is never defeated, never dies, can never be extinguished. As we take a deep breath and go into our heart space, we feel that presence. We know this presence, Spirit. We know you are here, anointing us, anointing this service, blessing the music, the spoken word, filling this entire space, making it sacred, for it truly is sacred. Wherever we are, God is. We give thanks for this presence, for this peace, for this divine purpose living itself as us. We open our hearts. We allow the dust, the dirt, the difficulties that have encased our heart to drop off as we practice the power of this month of elimination, renunciation. We let it go. We let it go and let God live as us. We give thanks, and so it is. Amen.
The sacred reading this morning is from the book The God of Love by Mirabai Starr. For a moment, death is not the punishment we thought it was. Instead, it is a doorway into the mystery. It is the wind that ruffles the veil between this world and that, affording us glimpses of something greater, something exquisite and vast. Our senses are heightened. Everything becomes almost unbearably beautiful. The rain on the tin roof, a columbine pushing through a crack in the walkway, a slice of buttered toast. Our world has come undone, and we have never felt so alive. We do not dare to speak this madness to anyone. They have not yet discovered what we have, that grief is proportionate to love and exponentially enlarges the capacity of our souls, making enough room for it all. We did not ask for this gift. Who would choose to walk around without skin on her heart, permeable to the suffering of every passing creature? Yet, if pressed, we would have to admit that it's worth it. We grieve the torture of a faraway prisoner who momentarily flashes by on our television screen as if he were our own son. And when a magpie lands on the stones of the fountain and stoops to drink, we can barely contain our rapture. The God of love is extravagant, overflowing with riches, lifting and filling the most broken and empty of us. And so it is in the silence.
my soul remembers. My soul remembers your voice when all I hear is frustration and doubt. My soul remembers your grace when the hurt is searing as a desert. Still I never go without. My soul remembers. My soul remembers your touch when my body yearns to be cradled like a child. My soul remembers your strength when a heavy burden's weighing on me. I am sheltered all the while, sheltered all the while, whether at war or at peace, whether I'm awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the street or diving the ocean deep, whether it's winter or spring, whether I cry or sing, oh, my soul remembers. My soul remembers your power when I fear I cannot do what must be done. My soul remembers your mercy, blessing the deepest doubt I harbor with the heat of the sun, with the kiss of the sun, whether I'm war or at peace, awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the street or diving the ocean deep, whether it's winter or spring, whether I cry or sing, oh, my soul remembers, oh, my soul remembers, oh, my soul remembers. My soul remembers your love when the world is bearing unbearable pain. My soul remembers your love shimming over us, a rainbow rising after the rain, whether at war or at peace, awake or asleep, whether I'm walking the street or diving the ocean deep, if I'm alone or in a crowd, feeling humble or proud, or silently sulking about, or laughing out loud, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, standing timid or strong, wherever wherever on earth I belong. And when my last breath is gone, whatever I do, whatever I see, safe in your arms I'll be. Oh, my soul remembers. Oh, my soul remembers. And oh, my soul remembers. Remembers. Thank you.
Thank you, Andani. And thank you, Connect and Liv, and who all set up the altar? Bella? Yeah, so thank you so much. It's beautiful. So later on, if you have pictures, I notice sometimes at appropriate points in the service, I've seen people go up and put their picture or memento of someone that they have lost up here at the Day of the Dead altar. But I want to welcome you home. I'm Reverend Tim Lytle, senior minister here, and this is a place where we want to support and be community for those on their spiritual journey, to help your spiritual journey to unfold in amazing ways. Welcome home. Out in the courtyard, the hub is information about different things you can be involved in, like Wednesday nights, for example. We'll hear about that soon, but Reverend Tim will be giving a class this coming Wednesday night on the Bhagavad Gita, and a lot of people enjoyed that last month, so we'll go in even deeper into the Bhagavad Gita this Wednesday. But we want to find ways to connect with you, so we have a text in church number up here that you can text the word welcome if you're new here, and you'll receive a little electronic card to give some basic information, and it provides a way for us to be in contact with each other by way of text and emails. Or if you've been here a while, you can go to that same number and text the word loop. How many people received a text or email message last week that stated that we were having services last Sunday? Okay, a lot of you. So we give out these announcements, ways that you can find out what's going on, you know. If you wonder if the world has ended or not, sign up. I'll let you know. And anyway, we welcome you here. If this is your first time here, or first time since I became the senior minister here, we have gifts for you. We have these cool new cups that we just got, and these are thermal insulated with their logo, and they're pretty, and they're lovely. And they're also for sale in our office. But for those of you who are new or here for the first time since I've been here, it's free. So if you're new here, would you raise your hand? Anybody? Oh, there's several of them. Boom, 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 boom. Over to the right. Okay. Heather is coming your way. All right, here we go. Yeah, thank you for being here. It's a joy to have you here. Welcome. Yeah. And Buddy Bianca Lana right there. Okay. Yeah. And Kelly. Yeah, good to have you here. And yeah, we got a number of people. Awesome. All right. And one more. Right here. Right to your right. Heather, right. Did you have, oh, you were raising your hand for Buddy. Oh, you were vicariously new. All right, thank you. And for all of our love streamers, we love you and welcome you as well. Wherever you are, we know that you're embraced in the divine presence. You might be in Hawaii or in Colombia or Denmark or thinking where some viewers are, you know. We're just so Thailand, New Zealand, Australia. Let's wave to them over at the side camera. Hawaii people giving you a shaka. So good to have you all here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you all. Welcome home.
I practiced this all morning. I'm going to say this announcement. Wednesday night service, Reverend Tim. He's going to talk about the Bhagavad Gita. I don't care if he said it already. I'm going to say it again. I'm just here to highlight what's going on here at Unity in Marin. So here we go. We have our relationship with IONS, and it's titled Sacred Activism. Do not expect to hear suggestions for social activism, albeit the need for action is certainly addressed. Instead, it is about options for finding and committing to true joy as distinguished from happiness. So if that piqued your interest, please see them on Friday. That takes place on Friday. And before we go any further, on the bulletin, there's a little correction. On Wednesday night service, Janice Campbell's Finding Your Gift in Your Shame is actually November 13th. She'll be doing that on the 13th. And then we have a special guest coming on Sunday, November 10th. His name is Joshua Ignacio. And as you can see there, he's going to be using different vibrational modalities to bring in balancing and deeper cleansing. And if you want more information on that, please go to the hub and register for that class. And then at this time, I'd like to invite Robert and Janice to make the next announcement.
Hi, my name is, got a response. My name is Janice Enick. I used to work here maybe 6 years ago, and I currently work for the Marin Interfaith Council, and I'm here to tell you about an event that we're having here. We're having a special event on Thursday, November 14th from 6 to 8:30, and the event will celebrate a vision of transformative social action that sprouts from deep spiritual roots. And then we will invite you, the attendee, to see and enact your own vision for a more just and peaceful community and world. It's called Emerging Visionaries. And our speakers are Chandra Alexander, the CEO of Community Action Marin, which is the largest human service provider in Marin County, and Reverend Marcus Hartleaf, who is the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Marin. And Reverend Tim will be doing our welcome and blessing that evening as well. So as a thank you to Unity, we are for hosting us. We are giving half-price tickets, and they are 1 for $35 or 2 for $60. And with everything that's been happening recently, it's a really good opportunity to come together in community, and we might just meet some new friends as well.
Great, thank you. Good morning, Unity. It's so good to be here. I'm Robert, and I wanted to extend a personal invitation to this event that Unity is hosting right here. Marin Interfaith Council is the hub of spiritual social action in Marin County, and I've been fortunate to be a volunteer for this incredible group for quite a few years. After this service, we would like to visit with you, share information about the council and about this event. Janice and I are going to be right outside this door where there's a table with a red tablecloth. So we hope that you'll come and visit us and talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janice and Robert. And will everyone please rise as you are able to sing our statement of truth?
There's only one power, only one presence, active in all my life and in the universe. God the good in all, through all and over all. There is only one power, only one presence, active in all my life and in the universe. God the good in all, through all and over all. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We're all going to make it home sooner or later. Here I am, my child. Take my hand, here I am, my child. There's no worry anymore, you've made it home. And only peace is what's in store, you've made it home, made it home, made it home. Here I come, my child. On the run, here I come, my child. And there's no pain in all the world, you've made it home. And brilliant gold and priceless pearls, you've made it home, made it home, made it home. Won't you stay forever, forever together? There's nothing that we won't do. Comes a time to sleep. Comes a time to sleep, to sleep. There's no worry anymore, you've made it home. And only peace is left in store, you've made it home, made it home, made it home, made it
Change is a constant in life. As you may have noticed last Sunday, there was no electricity here. I was gone. All kinds of things can happen. Change is part of this material world. I want to thank Reverend Medora and those who stepped in last Sunday as you experienced Unity and Marin Unplugged. And once in a while, we'll have Unity and Marin Unplugged. People seem to like that. I got feedback from our virtual community. I can't get you online. It's like, yeah, there's no electricity, but we love you. And so things change in this world. You may notice your furniture sometimes may get worn or torn or something, or your car might get dings in it, or I don't know, your jobs may change. You might have a change in relationships, or there might be a change in your body, where things that you used to be able to do, you can't do now, or maybe things you couldn't do before, now you can. I can do more now than I used to be able to, actually. And you may look in the mirror and you don't see changes in yourself, but when you go to a reunion, what happened to all those people? Have you ever gone to a reunion and you're thinking, wow, I remember when that person was... Anyway. Things change in this material world that we're in. And that's one of the constants in our world is change. And that can include loved ones making their transition as we are honoring with our Day of the Dead altar. The power of this month is elimination or renunciation, release, sometimes it's called. It's letting go of those things that are no longer available to us or are no longer serving us. It means letting go so that something even greater can emerge. I was doing a celebration of life service yesterday for Andy Nakashima, 24-year-old man that the police had been searching for months. And I heard these beautiful stories of how Andy had touched other people's lives. And we were using the metaphor of butterflies. We had origami butterflies. Because whenever Andy would go to a restaurant and he would leave a tip for the wait staff, he would fold the money into origami butterflies and leave the butterflies for the wait staff. And it became a symbol for our celebration of life service yesterday as we thought about, this caterpillar-looking thing that used to crawl on the ground and then went into this cocoon, a tomb-like structure so that it could emerge and blossom as a butterfly. It has that hope of there's something within us that can never die, and it expresses into an even greater expression. So today I'm looking at what does grief and transition teach us? Because it has lots of lessons to teach us. And as the statement from my friend Mirabai Starr said, none of us asked for this gift, but there's much that we can learn from it. Grief is a teacher. Have you ever had a really hard teacher? Grief is a real hard teacher, but we can learn a lot from it. As many of you know, and as I mentioned, I went to Wichita, trying to get my orientation here. It was not last week, but the week before on Wednesday. Got to the intensive care room, MICU, Medical Intensive Care Unit, room 15, to be with my brother. And it was obvious there was time to remove him from life support. But it never feels like it's time. It never feels right. It's like, it's obvious that we need to do this, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel, how can I let go of the person who taught me to play basketball, of the person who was a baseball pitcher, and I would be his catcher, and catching his fastballs and his curveballs, my hand would swell up and turn purple, but I continued to catch for him. He taught me to play chess. He was 7 years older than me, but he loved to spend time with me. He would buy new albums. He bought this Sandy Nelson album. Do any of you know who Sandy Nelson is? There are a few. This goes way back. Sandy Nelson was a phenomenal drummer. And I remember listening to this album of Sandy Nelson, and that's where my love of drumming began. I became a drummer. And my brother would bring home all these different albums, and then he introduced me to Jimi Hendrix, and then Led Zeppelin, the drumming of John Bonham. And then I remember him bringing home, oh, I got a new album, let's go listen to it. We went into his room, it was Black Sabbath. And it's like, ooh, this is getting a little dark. I like it, but ooh. And, and then he had this spiritual awakening, and he started introducing me to very spiritual music. I mean, this person had been a mentor and father figure. How do you let him go? Some of you have done that, where you've let go of someone who has meant the world to you. And it doesn't feel right. It's never the right time. And we're never ready. I hate it when nurses walk into the room and say, "Are you ready?" No, but I know it's the right thing to do. What do we learn from those moments? Well, one of the things that I learned is that in this world, there's a lot of transitory things. There's a lot of things that change. Things shift. And those of us who resist it suffer. Now, I'm not saying to not stand up for what's right. Yes, we need to stand up for what's right. Yes, it's important to stand up for important social change in our world. It's important to stand for what's right. But, I think of that Star Trek, the Borg. Resistance is futile. Grief, change, transition, whatever is going on in your life, change in relationship, change in your body, change in relationships, change in jobs, whatever's going on, it's like the rapids. As a kid, 7th grade, I was riding in a 2-man raft with another young man, attention deficit, rebellious guy. I don't know if it was an accident or not, but I found myself out of the raft. I was going down the rapids, and I thought, I'm going to keep my face up so I can breathe. I'm going to keep my feet in front of me. I'm going to use my legs as shock absorbers. I'm going to be on my back. And I'm going to ride the rapids without a raft. And I did. It's quite a journey. And Sarah LaValle, before I left to go to Wichita, knowing what I was encountering, and we were using this metaphor of going in the rapids, gave me this advice just before I went out the door of the office. Keep your toes up. Go with the flow. Let grief carry you. Let this process carry you. Whatever you're experiencing, it has great things to teach you. keep your toes up. And what I've learned, just as I learned in those rapids, what I've learned in life is that there is something within us that is indestructible. There is something in us that was never born and will never die. There is that presence of God. In Sanskrit scriptures, it's called the Paramatma. In Christian scriptures, the Holy Spirit. There's this presence of the divine living itself as us, and it can never be defeated. Charles Fillmore, the co-founder of the Unity movement, called it the I am presence, the Christ, the divine living in us and as us. This divine presence, the I am presence, will never be defeated. And no matter what you're going through, if you're living in a car, if you're staying in an intensive care room with someone that you love very much and you're about to let them go, if a relationship ends, the real you can never be destroyed. The real you is God. There, I said it. The real you is his presence that cannot be defeated. The I am presence. And when one goes into grief, there's the opportunity to really learn that, if you allow it, to let that power, that presence, to come forth. Another thing I learned in grief and in transition is the importance of Sangha, the importance of a sacred community to uplift you, to hold you up. Those prayer chaplains were in touch with me while I was gone, and my prayer chaplain was sending prayers on my phone or in writing. They're available after the service. Those prayer chaplains and that support group, this spiritual community is a place to help hold us up, hold our toes up as we go through the rapids. Rapids come with life, but we don't have to go down with it. We have a community that helps hold us up. And what I'm aware of, and maybe you've experienced this in deep grief, is how in the sadness and in impossible circumstances, the beauty of simple things comes forth. Just being able to take a big stretch, or to hear birds singing outside the window, or looking at the dew on roses, or seeing the beautiful lawn out here in the courtyard. I notice all these nuances, and I inhale them, and I breathe them, and I just live in it. So grateful for life. If you allow it, grief and transition teaches us how important and valuable all of these simple things are. The things that we thought were so important aren't many times when we go through a time like that. That book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. Richard Carson. When you're going through grief, you really focus on what's important. As I was in the airport, trying to get to Wichita, I flew all night. Let's see. Okay, Tuesday night, went to San Francisco Airport, trying to reconstruct all this. It's crazy, you take the Marin Airporter, and you get there an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and then you wait for the plane, then the plane takes off. I flew all night so that I could get to Wichita early, and flew to Dallas, and in Dallas, the plane is having mechanical problem, and they're checking it out, and there may be a delay, and we'll get back to you soon. This is code language. for you are screwed. I would love it if they would say exactly what they mean. As fast as you can, get another flight. But I didn't know that's what it meant, so I'm waiting, to hear what's going to happen. And, ended up spending the whole day in the airport, in Dallas as I'm trying to rush to get to Wichita. And, I'm getting anxious and antsy and all that. And eventually get there, and did get there in time to be with family and say my goodbyes and be with my brother as we removed life support. So on the way back on a different airline, I was in the Wichita airport, and they said, oh, there's some delay. There's winter weather, ice and snow. It takes hours to de-ice at some places. And so I noticed a change in me. It's like, why sweat the small stuff? It's no big deal. There was a friend of mine there, a realtor by the name of Art, and Art's like, our flight's been delayed. How are we, what about our connections? How are we going to do this? I said, Art, it's going to be okay. I could see myself in Art. I said, Art, it's going to be okay. We'll get there. It's okay. And so I thought, well, let's see. So while I was waiting, I called the family that I was doing the memorial service for, made some additional plans, and waited so long, I thought, man, I need to get something to eat, and I love Wichita. I was in the Wichita airport wanting something to eat. I'm vegetarian. Ever been to the Wichita airport? If ribs or burgers are your thing, come to Wichita. But, so finally found some vegetarian food, a vegetarian pizza thing, and they're fixing, and they're getting ready to board my plane, and you'll probably know which airline I was flying on this time because I got A3, so means I'm up close to the front, and it's like, come on, pizza. And so finally got my pizza, in big boxes, and I got this carry-on bag. So I'm rushing over to get in line with my bag and my big pizza box. And it's right out of the oven. And, the smell of pizza is just going everywhere. And I get up to my space at A3. I'm standing there with my pizza, starving people all around me. I didn't feel entirely safe, but got onto the plane. And with this particular airline, there are often people who have traveled from other places who are still on the plane. So, you might be A3, but there's already people in there. And so I find a seat that I want to sit in. They're not reserved seats. You pick it. And so I go in behind this row of women. And they're like, you smell that pizza? Yeah, I do. Wow, that pizza smells good. Whoever has that pizza ought to share it with us. Now, they didn't know I was right behind them. And I thought, okay, this is my comfort food. I'm hungry. But I realized, why sweat the small stuff? I mean, it would be a joy to share. And so I opened my pizza box, which then is like, and I lean forward with the pizza, and I say, would you all like some of this pizza? Now, they've been delayed too. They've been on that plane a long time. They're very hungry. And they're like, oh, it's you? Yes. Really? Yeah. You want some? Well, you sure? Yeah. So they have some pizza. And it's just the way I am. It's the way I think. I tend to think in metaphors and theological symbols. It's communion. We're having communion together on the plane with vegetarian pizza. And there's a joy. And I've realized that my grief has heightened the experience of sharing. My grief has heightened my sensitivity to others and has removed some of the veils of my heart. My grief has opened me up to really connecting with people even more and not being fearful, because I want to be really present in the moment and really present with the person in front of me and really present with myself and really present with the divine presence, realizing it's important to focus on what I'm really here to do and not get all lost in the small stuff. So we're having pizza together, surrounded by hungry people on the plane. And I realized the joy of sharing. I thought, how odd that grief has made me even more compassionate. That grief has opened up my heart even more. That grief and transition has helped me to be even more of what I really am. Yeah, it's painful. It's not something we would ask for. But it's an opportunity to go deeper. It's an opportunity for service. Who would have thought that? That being in pain is an opportunity for service. So as we've been studying about sacred service and ways to reach out to others in compassion, that's part of our journey as we're going through the rapids, keeping our toes up. As we're going down the rapids on our back, and someone else is going down the rapids on their back. Want some pizza? Reaching out to them. Because actually we're all in the rapids together. We're all in this together. What affects one affects all. We're all in this. Grief has so much to teach us. And as you can see, grief also teaches me that humor is important. Not as a distraction, but my laughter and my tears frequently come from the same place in my heart. And sometimes I'll do both at the same time. Have you done that where you've had such a deep belly laugh that you cry at the same time? I'm convinced it's from the same place in our soul. Live life. Enjoy life. Honor those who've touched your lives. Reach out in service. And know that the divine, the I Am presence, living itself as you, has got you. As you're going down the rapids, keeping your toes up. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be back. I've missed you. Thank you. Welcome home. Let's do an affirmation together. Repeat after me. I am the presence of God in action. I'm going to keep my toes up. I'm going with the flow. Nothing can destroy me. I am the presence of God in action. And so it is. Amen. And before we receive the offering, we have a special presentation from Lynn and from Kevin as we prepare for Faith in Action.
Good morning, Unity Marin. I'm Dr. Lynn Forsey, and this is my wife, Kevin Seaver.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Today we're launching Unity Marin's Faith in Action program. Kevin and I are here to share with you why we give and to request each of you to join us, because Unity in Marin is creating a wealthful future. Many of you know that I'm a registered nurse with a PhD. Creating and fostering health is an important aspect of who I am in the world. So because I'm the nerdy one, as I considered the relationship between abundant health and faith in action, this passage by Eric Butterworth nailed it for me. Healthful is a common word that connotes conducive to health, good food, plenty of rest, and an environment high in vibrations. There is no word, however, that relates to the things that make for personal experience of wealth. So Eric has taken the liberty of coining the word wealthful. We need to turn the focus of our attention away from lack, layoffs, and limitations, and on to the omnipresence of universal substance. Just as there are experiences that are healthful to us, so are there experiences that are wealthful. Expose yourself constantly to wealthful ideas of prosperity, substance, and affluence. Your life will be influenced for good or ill by the kinds of thoughts that rule your mind and manifest themselves in your world. Well, Unity in Marin fosters wealthful living for all of us, and that's manifested by our financial wealth.
This community has become our spiritual home, and like any home, we want it to be thriving and sustaining. We've been members of Unity for nearly 6 years. Our grandson was about 3 when he met his first Unity friends, Fonzie and Lonnie. Unity has provided a strong foundation and a loving home for the 3 of us. While Lynn grew up in an active family church in the East, I attended Catholic school and church in Marin until I was 13, but I never felt I belonged. We actually came to Unity services at Christmas and Burning Bowl for about 10 years, sitting invisibly in the back row or in the balcony. After we married and inspired by the New Year's Burning Bowl ceremony, I declared it was time to find a spiritual home and thought we'd sample some churches. But that wasn't to be. Lynn upped the ante and proposed we make a full year commitment to Unity. Well, years later, we're still here and invested in our spiritual home. We're active in the youth and family ministry. Lynn sings in the choir, co-chaired the search committee, and recently joined the board. And I, well, as the crafty wife, as opposed to the nerdy wife, I enjoy my own set of relationships and projects that we work on together. This is our church. We honor and trust you and feel blessed to be such a part of such an amazing community. Lynn and I are thrilled to make our Faith in Action 2020 pledge today. We look at it as putting our money and faith in action. So we ask you to step up your giving this season so we can all be wealthful together.
There's Faith in Action pamphlets in the backs of some of the chairs and out in the narthex, and we'll be at the hub. So come and find us.
Thank you.
As our ushers come forward, yes. Whoop. I'll be writing out my check here in just a little bit. But as you get your offering ready in your hands or place it over your heart, repeat after me. I bless this offering with joy, with gratitude, with abundance. I am grateful. And so it is. Amen.
Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing that we can lack. We give from love, God gives it back. Okay, how about a little Bob Marley? Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. People, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright now. Rise up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. 3 little birds perched on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. So people, don't worry about a thing. Don't worry now, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright now. People, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds perch on my doorstep, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. So don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright now. People, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be alright now. How about it, Jason? Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. People, don't worry about a thing. Don't worry now, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright now. 'Cause every little thing, it's gonna be alright now.
As our ushers come forward, and we extend our hands to the offering. We bless this offering in the consciousness that it represents infinite substance, of which there is never any lack or limitation of any kind, knowing we are recirculating the divine good of our lives, going forth from here to be the light of the world, to serve our world in love, in vulnerability, and in authenticity. And we give thanks, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.
So, Reverend Tim, just in the spirit of humor, another way I say don't sweat the small stuff, it's just a pimple on my butt. Yep. Yep. Had to say it. All right, we have a very strong family ministry here at Unity in Marin. So if you know any families with small children or even up to teens, like you live, please invite them to our community. I think they'll get a big benefit out of it, as you are too. So, okay. And we have so many volunteers and people who give so much. And one of them is an opportunity to sponsor our flowers and our hospitality. So our flower sponsors, we had 3 of them for this Sunday. One is David and Cheryl Nakashima in memory of their son, Andrew. Misty Forsman in memory of her beloved husband, Lars Forsman. And the flowers are arranged by Caroline McKenna. And let me just tell you that these volunteers spend hours working on this. I mean, hours. Because now I work in the front office, I see a lot of things that go on, whereas before I would just come in on Sunday or Wednesday night and leave. There's a lot of volunteers on our campus. So I thank each and every one of you that give your time. We still need you. So however you can give, do that. But again, Caroline McKenna is the one that did the flowers, and the next person or couple who sponsored flower and hospitality is Medora and Richard Gordon for their 37th wedding anniversary. Yes, so yes, I'm part-time in the office. I have boundaries. Will the prayer chaplains please rise where you are? These are our volunteers of our community who are available to pray with you after service today, and they do this after each Sunday service and Wednesday service. All you have to do is tap them on their shoulders and share whatever is on your heart in confidentiality and be blessed by their love and how they hold you. So thank you so much, prayer chaplains. And if any of you are interested in becoming a prayer chaplain, there's another meeting on December 8th at 1 o'clock, and I invite you to go to the bride's room during that time and find out what it's like to be a prayer chaplain. And then would everyone please rise and say our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And let's sing our peace song.